You meet somebody, they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing.
Like
they don't date. They don't do drugs. They don't play checkers. They don't do nothing. How long do you like those people for? You don't. I like people with a little bit of edge to them. They got to do something. If you tell me I don't like alcoholics, but I love heroin, I'm in. If you tell me you suck toes for breakfast, I'm in. You got to do something. One night I knock on the door, and who answers the door? It's her. And she goes, oh my God, it's so great to see you. How have you been? And I go, it's great to see you. Man, I gave her a hug. And I put the Chinese down, and she goes, what are you doing with your life? I go, I'm getting divorced, but I got into stand-up comedy, and I'm trying to deliver food to make a living. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. You and her broke up? Oh, you must need a hug. And as I started hugging her, we started swapping spit. And I touched a little monkey, and I could feel nobody had even touched a monkey in like 10 years. Steam started coming up. And I started fingering that motherfucker like a savage and swapping spit with her. And my hand was nice and wet, and I'm fingering it. I got a pinky surrounding her asshole. And I'm working, and finally I put it down slowly. And I pop her pants. I take her tit out. She's got one big fucking tit. I'm sucking her tits. And I'm making out with her. I'm fingering at the same time. So while I'm fingering her, I take her pants down, but I go, I don't want to see what the other leg is. So I took the leg off of the good leg, and I left the fucking bad leg covered because I don't want to know what it is. If she's got like a pole under there, one of those fucked up feet. So I picked up her fucking legs and I started eating her pussy. The clit fucking was huge. I'm sucking at her like a piece of bubble gum. I look up at her and she's like this, Christine, like with her mouth open. I go, now's the time to put the helmet in that fucking mouth. So I switched up. I started two-finger Louie her, and I went around her and I put that fucking hammer in her mouth, and she didn't know what to do. She's like, and at that time, I was trying to fucking lift weights and shit, so I wasn't jerking off. Because somebody told me not to jerk off, that your protein. I was retarded. Yeah. You know, I'm retarded. Yeah. And when I came in the mouth, it was one of those loads, Christine, that don't stop. You ever have one of those things?
I know, Christine.
And you're sucking it with your eyes closed, and then after a minute, you open it up because you're like, when is this going to stop? And I could look at her swallowing it, and it was endless. It was fucking endless. It was just a load of death. It was like a month and a half of not coming. There was Valium in there and Xanax and fucking
Well, it's
cocaine.
nice seeing you, Joey. Thanks for stopping by.
I shot a load in the mouth, and when I took my dick out, she went, ah. It was like she drank a gallon of Mountain Dew. She looked at me. She started getting a little dizzy.
Oh, my God.
I was selling Valium at the time. I was taking like 100 milligrams of Valium a night. When I shot in her mouth to put her in a trance, she was glassy-eyed. She gave me a $3 tip, and I left, and I never saw her again. She must have ate that Chinese food and slept for a week.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
You got any dates coming up you want to put on?
You can still
You got a Twitter handle?
You
You
can
wanna
still
plug
feel what
that?
that nut felt like, I bet, right?
it was like a 3-minute nut.
But wait a minute, you didn't even bang her? You
No,
didn't put it in her vagine?
No.
No.
Well, that's
Let me tell you, the
unloaded
pussy eating was tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I licked her ass.
Sorry, I blacked out at some point. I didn't
No,
listen
sure.
closely.
Once I shove my tongue in your ass, you black out. It's like you're 14 and your uncle's molesting you. You know. You just black out and let happen what's gonna happen anyway.
I think everybody everywhere can relate to the getting terrible at preparing the next thing, like grinding something up. You're just moving at a really weird rate, just enjoying. Like right now, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
No.
But some people are really focused. Like I'm just more like.
I ain't like even buying joints
enjoying
now.
the conversation.
I like breaking the weed. That's whole part of the whole karma, is breaking it, putting the two papers together, cutting it with the scissor. Then you watch whatever's on the news for 3 minutes. Then you roll the fucking number, you lick one, then you go get the coffee. It's whole, you know.
Hey, we haven't done this yet.
Yeah, no, that's not weed in there. That's a cigarette. That's nicotine. Yeah. That's good, but it'll take away the dizziness.
Kiss the frog for luck. Okay, so
This is the
yours
grape
is
bait?
filled. I'll fill mine. People are bound to say on the internet that Doug kept using the small one. Because it's always a competition.
Tremendous.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I like it. Where's the medic? Get him in here just in case, you know what I'm saying? I feel a little fibrillation. No, I'm feeling great. This is tremendous. No, don't get the med. I'm just fucking with you. Are you kidding
Did he really
me?
come in?
No, I don't even want the med in here. He's bad luck.
Daniel's trying to
I don't
go
want
get
in.
him?
No, I don't like doctors around when I'm getting high. They're bad luck. They put a fucked up feel in the room, you know?
I don't think you've said cocksucker once
I'm trying
this
to
whole
behave
time.
myself.
That's the go-to impression of you, is cocksucker.
I'm trying to behave myself. I'm trying to change my ways. It's the holiday season.
Is that why, really?
Yeah, you can't be calling people cocksuckers during the holiday season. It's just not right. People want to be in a good mood to buy gifts and presents. All of a sudden, you get called a cocksucker. You're like, I'm going to go home.
People are going to watch this in March.
All right, then fuck you, cocksucker. This is going on today with Doug Benson. We're smoking bong hits for fucking Jesus. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Fuck it. Let's do some more bong hits for Jesus, Jerry's kids, everybody today. We're mixing this motherfucker up today. God damn it. It's over. Grape ape in the house. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. If you're at home, fuck it. Light yourself on fire. It's over. Put it on John Lennon.
A tremendous club, you know?
Yeah.
So I was in Seattle maybe 2 weeks, and I was already rocking. Like, in Boulder, I would do like 5 sets a week, and I had to drive all over the fucking world. In Colorado, I had to go to Wyoming and shit. In Seattle, we had 2 spots on a Monday night, 4 spots on a Tuesday, 6 spots on a Wednesday. There was a spot on Thursday. There was always something. It was just fucking mind-boggling. And I'm having a great time with the broad. She's stripping at night. I'm helping her count her money. I'm taking 20 for me, 20 for her.
Of course.
I'm dropping $100 bills on the floor and stepping on them. Fucking hysterical. She was great.
How much?
Honestly, every time I turned my head, I was getting a check for $2,500 to $5,000.
Jeez.
What?
Jose Marti, Johnny, any Spanish guy that made more money, they just donate. And they have a fund sitting for Spanish people. And all you got to do is just apply, and they were giving me fucking thousands.
And you're like, yo no hablo inglés. Gracias.
No. I wouldn't talk on this. And when I was on campus, I was like a Jap. You know how Japs come around with a camera and they bow and they don't know nothing? I don't know. You should have seen me. You know what I'm saying? I was at the fat chick in Man on Fire when remember La Gordita? Es que no sé, la niña. They would talk to me. I didn't know nothing. I bow. I take pictures like I just came back from Cuba. You should have seen me. As soon as I hit the fucking campus, I was like Vinny Chingigante.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like a half a retard. Es que no sé, ¿dónde está el building A? ¿Dónde está el building C? And then our big thing on Saturdays was we'd snort THC crystal, take a bus into the city.
The keef, you would snort the keef? Is that what
Listen, THC crystal is what you sold it to Bert as. On the street, it was fucking PCP.
I gotcha.
It was guerrilla tranquilizers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
This is the shit that they would shoot.
That sounds
You ever see
nice.
what was that show when we were kids? Omaha, whatever, about animals, wild animals, the Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When you see a leopard, they shoot him and he'd go over. That's what we were snorting.
All right.
It was like animal tranquilizers. So take me, you, Rogan, Bert, Tom, 9 of us. We'd split 3 $10 bags. We'd buy $30 worth, and we'd each do a little line, and we'd jump on a bus on Saturdays, go to New York City, jump off on Times Square, and we'd go, all right, you, Bert, and Tom, see you later. We'll meet at 5 o'clock in Port Authority on 181st Street. So you got to see how to get there. And it's just a foggy world, man.
I'll bet.
We would walk like 20 blocks, then we'd jump on a train for 10, then we'd sit on a park bench for an hour, and fuck, when it was really hitting you, we'd be in Harlem talking to black people, and the next thing you know, we had to get the fucking 181st. It was a fun time, and my mother had no control. I was doing great in school freshman year, and then I got initiated into the boys. The boys said, we want you to be part of one of us, so I would go to their parties.
So the little boys is like the Cub Scouts and
Of the big boys.
And now they're pulling you up.
Right, but what it really meant was that the little boys, there was one particular one who I just spoke to last night, and he had an older brother. What that meant was that I got invited to those older parties. Mm-hmm. That's what that pass gave
What are
me.
these kids, 17, 18, 19?
These kids are seniors in high school, and they're fucking lunatics. And I love them for them. I loved it for them. Like the first party I went to, they got garbage barrels. And they put garbage bags in them, and they just filled them up with different booze. No mixer, no margarita mix. It was like
Just
brandy,
straight vodka
gin.
over here.
They threw a shoe in there, and they got a bunch of bees. They got a bunch of dead bees and put them in the thing, and stared them up. And for you to walk in, they would give you a ladle with a glass, and you'd have a bee in the glass. And I remember I don't know how many times I picked up the shoe. There was like an old man's shoe in there. These guys were nuts. Great guys. No drugs, briefer, heavy metal music, the Stones, shit like that. I'll never forget the first party I went to. I woke up on a lawn. Like I just opened my eyes up and I was on Richie Sensulo's lawn.
Richie Sins. I love your
Right?
names, goddamn.
His name is Richie Sensulo.
You're on his front lawn.
I'm on his front lawn. I'm looking around, and it's Ray Ernesto. Ray Ernesto was a cop who I liked, but I didn't like because he would always play basketball with us, and he would wear colored socks, and that was like a no-no in my hometown.
What are you?
And he would pull them all the way up to his knee. He was a cop, and you know how many times
He even dressed athletically like a cop. You can see, he could tell a mile away.
Oh my God. Ray Ernesto was the sweetest man on the planet. He was a cop, and to keep himself in shape, he played with the 8th graders on Sunday. Legit guy, no pedo. He'd buy us all.
No pedophile.
No pedophile.
I read the book by Lenny Bruce, ladies and gentlemen. Lenny Bruce, and it was just about doing drugs and going out every night. And that's exactly what I did. That's what I wanted to do. It was about getting high, getting on stage. And in those days, there wasn't a lot of comedy in Denver. I was doing poetry readings.
What?
You had to sneak in as a poet. So I would put on like a little hat with an apple on top, and I'd walk into a coffee shop and shit.
God damn. I wish there was a video of that shit somewhere.
Oh my God. The famous coffee shop was called Penny Lane in Boulder. It was Penny Lane. And I would go to Penny Lane. It was open 24 hours. Coffee shop, couches, books, that type of stuff. A bunch of intellectuals, And I would go in there for the 8 o'clock poetry reading, and they would throw me out every week. Stop. You can't talk like that in here. I'd be talking about Godzilla and fucking killing Chinese people and shit on stage. And they were like, you can't do that. This is poetry night. But there was one manager who worked the midnight shift to 8 in the morning, and her boyfriend was in the halfway house with me. So she saw me there one night, and she's like, we do a poetry reading at midnight, from midnight to about 3 every morning. And I go, are you fucking serious? And she goes, come down. You're always welcome. So I would have to wait till midnight to do the poetry readings. And again, they would, I'd have to follow a guy like that was up there. I ran,
Yeah.
and I ran into the wilderness. And then I'd go up there throwing fucking heat, talking about Hitler and shit.
Oh, God.
We did the wake 5 days. The wake was tremendous. Cuban wake.
Yeah, what's
Makes
that
an
like?
Irish wake look like a fucking baked ass center.
A daycare.
Yeah, because they're 24 hours.
They are.
Yeah.
Now, with the is the body present? Is your
Body's
mom there
in the room.
in the casket?
In a
You're just
casket.
around and
In a casket. First fucking night, first viewing. I'm not in there. 5 minutes, and I'm hearing Zoraida yelling and screaming. And I look around, and she's got Rivero by the throat. By the throat. Like against the wall with like a fucking bottle. And she's like, you motherfucker, you put the wrong dress on her. She's like, you get in there and you fucking put the right dress on her. I told you it was the fucking blue dress. And I'm like, this is gonna be.
gotta take her out of there and change her.
They fucking took her out. Put
Your
her
mom had an outfit change.
An outfit change.
When she was dead.
They put her back in the living room. Now these Cubans are walking in like there's another funeral. You know, when you have a funeral parlor, you have 3 rooms.
Yep.
You have 3 bodies at once. My mother's friends didn't give a fuck about the other families. They started coming in with coolers and like little portable bars and tables to play dominoes because they're like, this is what your mother wanted. Your mother didn't want nothing. Your mother wanted heavy duty people snorting coke. So we had to work the funeral in shifts. 8 to 4 was Zoraida, 4 to 12 was me, and 12
Most
to
viewings are like 7
Yeah.
to 9
No.
tonight and tomorrow.
No, this started.
it.
My mother died on a Wednesday night. My mother died on a Wednesday night. The viewing was 3 days, 24 hours. And I mean, fucking craziness. People snorting coke, people fucking drinking. Zoraida snorted coke anywhere. Like Zoraida's claim to fame was that she could be right here watching you, and all of a sudden she'd just go in her bra and put it back, you know. And she wouldn't say a word. Since I was 5, I knew Zoraida, and she was always snorting coke. And she would do it no matter where. She did it at my first communion.
Your first communion.
No matter where we were, we could be at Barnum and Bailey Circus in New York City, and you'd see Zoraida doing little bumps. I watched her the whole weekend, just sitting there observing people. And she would go up to people and go, excuse me, didn't you have an argument with her in 1958? Get the fuck out of here.
She's bouncing people
She was throwing people out. She never liked you and I never liked you.
Didn't you have an argument in 1958?
Oh, my God. But that night, I saw Zoraida kneeling down. Like, I went out and I came back and it was just her and my mother. I'm like, wow. And Zoraida was telling her, I'm going to take care of your son.
You're hearing all this and she doesn't know you're there.
She doesn't know I'm in the room. She goes, I'm going to make sure he grows up to be a man. And I'll never forget she's saying all this stuff. And I'm watching in the middle of all this. She goes,
yes.
She goes, she goes in the bra and she's doing like a bump. And she's like I would give you one, but you know. And she's like fucking, I mean, it was just classic. It really stuck with me. And then the next day we buried her and she stayed with me for 2 weeks until my life got together, until we decided what I was going to do. I was either going to come to California, go to fucking Miami, or I could stay with my godmother in New York. But I was just getting it started in North Bergen. For the first time in my life, I was a somebody. I could have been, you know, when you watch Marlon Brando and On the Waterfront, you know, I was a somebody. People were starting to like me. I had clout, I had karma, I sold drugs. You know, I had a couple friends. I can't just leave. So I decided on, the clear choice was for me to live with the Balzanos. But I loved them too much, number one. Number two, I knew it was going to end up bad because he was too strict. So I knew this was not going to end up bueno. So before we even do this, let's agree to disagree. I loved him like a father, and I loved Marianne like a mother, but I could not be in your house at 11 o'clock at night. I was already raised a certain way.
Yeah.
So I was like the draft choice in the living room. I was like the draft choice in my neighborhood. I was just waiting for the perfect deal. Like the Garcias reached out.
The free agent.
But I had to share a room with the younger brother. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. they had a good they had a nice house. They had HBO. And they put the air on in the winter. They got to put the air on in the winter. A couple people offered me asylum. They weren't much into air conditioning. I can't live with you. All right. Balzano's.
Air conditioning, you want motel requirements.
Yeah, because, look, I was a single child. I had a cable in my room.
Yeah, you're alone at what, 16 now?
Growing up, I always had I had central air and I had an air conditioner. I like my room cold. My fan broke last week, so my wife had to buy me a new one. This is like the fan they used in Spider-Man 2 when Tobey Maguire was against the train.
Yeah.
But right now, with all the shit I see, you know, there's kids at home fucking dyeing their head purple, making $1 million a year, you know, telling people they're selling products or whatever. It doesn't take salesmanship you learn from your ball sack, you know, hustle. You just get sick and tired of being on the couch and saying, I can't live like this anymore. How much longer? You know, I'm not going to go to ITT Tech. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't going to work. They ain't going to teach you nothing down there. You know? And that's we ever stay home in the daytime and you put TV on? That's what you get. ITT Tech. Learn how to cut hair. Learn how to fucking be a doctor's aide. No, you're not. People go to college for 8 years to be a doctor's aide. You've been sitting on a couch for 2 years. You gained 80 pounds. You got phlebitis fucking veins on your legs. You smell like popcorn, your neck. And you're going to go to some course for 8 months and they're going to teach you how to be a doctor's aide. Hello. You know, I mean, it's just, and a lot of shit is just experience. You could do so much more just getting a job today and putting your nose to the grindstone. I still believe in that. It's going to be corporate, and you're not going to like it. There's going to be rules. You can't tell that chick with the big tits, hey, let me rub your chat. You know, you can't crack those type of jokes.
I don't know if you can do that anywhere. I don't think you're supposed to say that to any girl with the big tits.
But no, you know what I'm saying, guys. So here I'm hanging out with let's just call him Boge for this. I'm doing little jobs for Boge. Nobody knows. I wouldn't tell anybody because I didn't want to ruin my relationship with Boge. I was doing little jobs for Boge, you know. I was doing the lumber yard, and I was doing robberies with Denny, right? So now Mr. Denny comes to me one day and he goes, "The devil's father," because I was allowed in their house. They had a hot sister, and then they had a brother. The Denny's house was a very complex house. You had Mike Denny and a sister who was beautiful, and they were twins. Then you had the older Denny. And then you had a medium Denny who thought he was Jimmy Page. He quit high school when he was like 9. And he just played the guitar by the park. And he would try to be like that dude that was like very coolish. Mm-hmm. But the claim to fame of Denny is he had a chick that would suck your dick on demand. So if you'd see Denny, he'd go, "What are you doing right now?" "Nothing. Suck his dick." So she never sucked my dick. I could be strictly, and you know, I'll tell you the truth.
I know you would.
I saw him a couple times, and he was such a creepy dude, and she was good looking. But then one night he took her to a party, and she sucked 22 dicks.
Come on.
I heard she burped and came out at the end and said, "Who's next?" So then I heard like a month later she blew 18 more guys.
Come on.
So they started calling her Marathon Woman. And she would sit in class, and people would go, "Marathon, marathon." I'll never forget her taking a picture. She was a year older than me, and looking at the yearbook and seeing her, like, you know, like Marathon, and then like seeing like her name, like Mary, whatever her name was, and most likely to succeed. And I'm like, she sucked 40 dicks in 2 nights without even burping. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was the claim to fame to Jimmy Denny.
That is a lot of dicks.
Bro, this chick sucked 20. She broke the record. She broke the record.
She's a record breaker.
I don't even know what the record was. I think Houston 500 broke her record when she fucked the 500 people. But the Denny's were weird. But let me tell you how I had it. I was 16 and a half. And I was hanging out with Denny. And he goes, "Bro, we got to figure out a way for you to be able to drive." I go, "Den, I got my learning permit, but I can't." He goes, "Fuck that shit." About a week later, his father called, Mr. Denny called me at the bend. He's like, "You got a minute? Come over." I went over there. Mr. Denny's outside. There's a driving school guy with a little hat car like driving school.
Yeah.
It's like Denny's driving school. It's like his cousin.
Instructor.
I walked up. He's like, give him a license.
Give him a license.
Give him a license. Write your name down, kid. I wrote José Diaz. I lied on my date of birth. I wrote it for it to be 1962 instead of 63. The guy gave me a receipt and I had a license. I'm the most boring person in the world.
Right.
I sit in my room, I smoke joints, I go to the gym, I go to a nice restaurant, like whatever is like something local to get the local flavor, and I'm back in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Those days of drugging and all that shit, those
Yeah.
days are gone.
Yeah.
We smoke a joint after the show in front of the hotel, and then every man goes their own way. You get a bag of Doritos, and you take it to your room and watch Law and Order till
Maybe
the
you
phone
spank
rings.
one out. You do that. The highlight is that spank that you do around 3:00 in the afternoon, where you don't fuck around with tissues. You get, and not even a hand towel. You get the bath towel, and you drape that thing from your chest down to your balls, and you get lotion. I'm a dry guy. I usually just I don't use anything. When I'm in a hotel, I get that lotion. I fill my hand with that shit.
That's disgusting. That is really fucking disgusting. You can't be a normal Catholic and just go in a shower, hotel shower before I'm leaving. I get on the floor, I bang one out, I come on my own stomach, I loofah it off. It's good loofah chemicals and sperm. I don't put it on my face just in case it attracts different people. You know, gay men can smell that sperm on your cheek and they go fucking bananas. It's like cologne.
Yeah.
You
It's
take
like
a little
Chanel.
sperm, you put it on your fucking neck. It's like high karate. Next thing you know, fucking, you got gay men. You're at an LGBTQ parade. You're playing the drums for the Go-Go's. You know. We got to have some fun, Greg Fitzsimmons. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down in flames. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck no more.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. And I'm happy we can continue the saga.
We'll keep it
I'm
going
here.
whenever you're available, my friend.
So I couldn't really go off.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Next time we do this, I'll cover the fucking holes in this story. There's more excitement in this story, but I got the FBI upstairs. So I'm living in this office. I'm kind of dating the crazy chick that I love.
This is still
And
the
one day we
stripper?
go- Yeah.
Okay.
And one day we go to she was into nature. She really liked nature. She's a hippie broad, you know. So we go to this fucking river, and it's got like these little caves that you go into. And the water just runs through you. It's tremendous. At that time, we went to see Pearl Jam at Waterworks Park.
Yeah, back then.
I mean, it was just, we were fucking living it
Wow.
up, me and this broad. I'm stealing 20s from her every night. We're having a fucking blast. You know.
Yeah.
So we're at this fucking reservoir. I'll never forget this, whatever this fucking thing is. And we're drinking Bottles and James wine coolers.
Yeah, I remember.
And she's got a tremendous ass, you know, and I'm looking at her ass. She's got a bikini on. And I'll never forget, we got into some type of argument. We weren't taught, like, she wasn't whatever you want to do, it's fine, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what this girl's problem is. So I finished the fucking Bottles and James. And I'm looking at her fucking ass. She's laying there, and I'm looking at her pussy. And I take the bottle, and I start rubbing it on her pussy with the bikini on. Just rubbing it with the pussy, with the bikini on it, rubbing it. And I can see her hips are starting to move. She's starting to get hot. So I pull the bikini over, and I take the bottle, and I start playing with a clit and the whole fucking thing. And I start putting the bottle into her pussy.
No.
And I'm just,
Right there?
oh, you know me. We're fucking freaks, me and this
Right.
girl. And I'm working her with the fucking bottle, nice and slow. She's moaning and groaning. I'm getting into it. I'm about to take the Cuban egg roll out and yank it myself, right? I'm about to whack off and come on her fucking hair or her titties or whatever. I'm working her with this fucking bottle. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. And next thing you know, I hear the suction from the bottle. She was about to have a period.
No.
So the suction, it created a vacuum when I was going in and out. And all of a sudden, it squirted, like the blood started filling up the bottle. I thought I cut her with the bottle, so I can't see blood. So I fainted. I just go backwards, boom, and I faint. She wakes me up. She's putting ice on me and shit. She's putting water on me.
How many times? I've done yours a couple of times.
Right?
Huh?
Yeah. You're always trying to get me on 9 o'clock. Perfect.
They've been asking me for you, but then I'm like, I don't like asking people because I want people to say no.
No, fucking ask.
But you said yes right away. I really
your
appreciate
family.
it.
I was very honored that you'd even have me on your podcast.
You're a criminal, aren't you?
Used to X.
I am opening with that.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Because I was in Canada, and the club owner at Calgary was like, "What should I bring here?" I go, "What acts?" I go, "First foremost, Joey Diaz," and he goes, "Can he even get in the country?" And then I go, "Oh yeah, he has criminalities."
Criminal.
Yeah, you hit somebody with a pipe. What happened?
Felonious.
Didn't you hit somebody with a pipe?
No, I kidnapped somebody.
Oh,
I did a
that's
drug
close.
rip. I did a drug rip.
You did a drug rip?
Yeah, like you show up and you're supposed to have cash, but you have dick. You have a fucking gun and a...
Yeah. That was in Denver? What was that, in Colorado?
In Denver. Boulder.
In Boulder, Colorado. That's how I've heard of it. Yeah. There's Cubans out there?
No, I went out there because they were looking for me in Jersey. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
You went out there.
I was a hellion, man.
Yeah, you were.
I was a hellion. It's so funny how when I met you, I was just crossing over. Like, that's when I was crossing over. Like, once I got to the Comedy Store, I was still a criminal. I'll still throw a glass at you. I'll still throw a bottle at you. You know me. I'm still an animal.
Yeah.
But that thief and shit and all that scam and shit went away because I saw other scammers up there. And I saw how bad it looked.
It's a full house of scammers,
yeah,
that
it's
fucking
a full
place.
house of scammers.
Well, it's cleaned out now, but before it was Deadwood.
You had to go in there and fucking rock the house.
You had to rock the house.
Yeah.
You had to fucking always check your back pocket.
Always.
Right.
Always. You know, and I was up there addicted to coke, the first fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Snorting blow and fucking
I
drinking.
feel bad because I used to, when I was using drugs, I used to give you pills all the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah.
I'd eat them.
I know you would eat them. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he wouldn't even ask me. He would just look at me, and I would just pull it out.
Oh, wow.
And he would just eat them.
And I just eat them.
Yeah.
Why, yes, I trust you.
Yeah.
If the FDA approves them, fuck it, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Don't be giving me that ching-ching shit. Make my dick hard for 2 days. That shit'll kill you.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you no ching-ching.
I'm doing my thing. I'm having a great time in Seattle doing the open mics, dodging the cops, going to anger management. It was always something. I'm making, so I started, I didn't go back to Boulder. So I started my own sports betting service. I rented an office above Josh Wolf's business. Me and the girl had broken up for a while, so I lived in the office. That's the office that had a bathroom, just a bathroom with a toilet, no shower. So I had to join a gym to take showers. But I can't tell you how many nights I had to take a shit at like 12 o'clock at night, and the cleaning lady would be in the building. You're not supposed to live in an office.
Yeah.
I was living in a rented office for $125. They would try to knock on the door to come in to clean the office. I wouldn't let them. I'm working. Go away. I had an 800 number there. You could call me for football. And I was giving out picks. I'm doing it by myself. And I'm having a great fucking time. And I remember how many nights I would just open the window and piss out the window. and people would go, what the fuck is going on up there? I would just take my dick out. I'd be all drunk and coked up. And I would just piss out the window. Let me tell you something. A couple nights I shit out that window. I would just put my ass out the window and just drop 2 turds out of my ass and look down, and they would fly down. It was like the 3rd floor. I had to. I can't tell you how many times I shit myself.
I remember I saw something on Eyewitness News with Diane Sawyer about a teacher, a professor in Yale, or one of those fucking schools, that taught their twin babies how to swim at 11 months old and how to look underwater. And it was just brilliant. So when my wife had the baby, I go, let's sign her up at the Y. So after 6 months, we signed her up at the Y, and I would go to the Y, and I would go in there with my fat fucking titties hanging in the fucking Y, with my water, with my daughter and my wife. And I noticed that all these white kids had Mexican mothers. And I'm like, wow, that's fucked up that all these white ladies adopted these Mexican kids. How fucking nice of them.
Yeah.
And I realized that they were nannies and the parents, half of them were there, half of them weren't there. And if they were there, they were texting. So wait a second, you're a parent and you're at the hardest thing for your child is to establish trust. And I'm a fucking criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was raised by a Cuban fucking nutcase. So if I saw this, what the fuck is your kid gonna turn out? There's no trust.
Yeah.
You're sitting there texting with your tattoos on your leg, and your fucking kid's learn how to fucking swim by some lady that's illegal. If ISIS comes in, your kid drowns because she's got to run out of the fucking pool. Your kid's in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? Immigration. Watch them scatter. So this is what you're telling me. So this is a society we live in today. That I didn't get it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get it. And I'll never forget. The day he got signed and he got his first deal, the big news in town was that he walked into 3 yards naked. Like I'm supposed to fucking be impressed. Like I take my dick out every night. Nobody says nothing.
Yeah, me either.
He walks into 3 yards naked and he's brilliant. Like he's a fucking genius.
But he's white. That's why.
It was
when
fucking,
ethnic people pull out their dicks, there's like charges.
Yeah.
How much fun did we have at the Comedy Store? Do you remember that night that there was a girl heckling? I tell this story all the time because I was flat fucking broke. And I think Bobby was starting to bust already a little bit.
Yeah.
And the girl came, I went up on stage and some girl heckled me. She goes, take your dick out. And I go, I'll take my dick out if you take your pussy out. It was a Friday at about a quarter to 1 in the morning. Fear Factor was just coming on and fucking this chick came on stage, dropped her pants, took a little clam out, and had a little fucking thinness of hair right above the clit. Dropped her pants, and I took my dick out. And Bobby Lee and Joe Rogan came to this. I remember people who were standing outside ran in.
Oh my God.
The place was packed. And Bobby Lee and Joe Rogan were throwing money at me. And me, I was so broke, I actually picked up that and bought a gram of blow from fucking Chewy. You understand me?
Yeah.
Like, I think I got $27 on the stage. I was so happy. I had a gram of blow and a pack of cigarettes. I'm good. For taking out my dick, that's success, Jack, on a Friday night at the store. Plus, I'm getting 15 next Friday.
Joe showed me a photo at the Brea Improv of you in the bathroom with a girl. And I've never seen so many veins on a penis.
That was crazy. That's right.
Do you remember that?
That's right.
Your penis is so veiny.
Yes, that's
You like it?
I don't fucking know. I'm an old man.
I know, but do you like the veins and all that?
What the fuck? I don't know.
What do you mean?
It's like bang.
It doesn't matter if I like it.
It doesn't
matter what
No,
I
I'm
like.
just giving you props. I'm not making fun of you.
No. I don't know. I don't know.
Congratulations with all the veins.
That means the blood's coming through
Yeah, the blood's
nicely.
coming through nicely. Yeah.
You gotta have blood.
And then Joey used to do this. Just every night he did this. He'd go home. Where would he sleep? Where would you sleep? In the bathtub.
In the bathtub, yeah.
I remember?
Yeah,
with the pillow.
with the sleep apnea.
Yeah, with the sleep apnea. And he'd have the shower on, right?
Yeah. I lived in Hollywood.
Where was
It's
this?
so weird. It's so weird that you could buy a house in Woodland Hills, pay $2 million, and after 15 minutes you run out of hot water. You're like, what did I pay $3 million for? To run out of hot water, right?
Yeah.
I lived maybe 4 blocks from here. I lived on 1440 North Schrader. All right.
You don't live there anymore. You don't live in there anymore now, yeah.
That building has been there since Jesus left Chicago.
Yeah.
I could go in the shower at 1 in the morning, put the hot water on, and wake up at 8 in the morning and still have hot water. And the paint would be peeling off the fucking walls.
Yeah.
Because I had sleep apnea, and that's the only way I could sleep. Was if I took Tylenol PM, I'd pop like 6 of them. I'd do like an 8-ball and pop 6 Tylenol PMs and fucking go in the tub, put a garbage bag on the pillow. That's how bad my sleep apnea was.
Oh my God.
And I would sleep in the tub, and that's the only way I could get like 6. I would get up, and my skin would be like a fucking prune.
Wow.
You know what Whitney Houston died of?
No.
She didn't die of cocaine.
How?
That's a lie.
It's drowning, right?
She died because she went into a hot tub after she did a line of coke. And because she was so coked up, she couldn't feel the intensity of the heat.
Oh, she
So
boiled
the
to
heat
death?
boiled her.
What?
And
Wait,
a lot of
what kind of hot tub is this?
This is what a lot of people don't know.
They don't know?
No, I always watch that shit. The Last 24 Hours. Autopsy.
Yeah.
That's my shit. I just watched James Gandolfini, and I watched the first 25 minutes to see if it was real, if they would release the cocaine reports, and they did. I saw Rap out there and Mike from the store, and I gave them all a hug, and I walk into the kitchen, and my left foot just went straight. And
Slid,
it was
like it slid?
Like it just slid at 90 miles an hour. I bounced and then fell over. And all I could see is stars, and fucking the pain was brutal. And, thank God, sometimes you go, I just go to the store to work out. No, you don't. They're really a family, because I never saw them react to me like that. Kudos to Whitney Cummings, who was all over me.
Oh, that's great.
The funniest, the night belonged to Annie Lederman, when I was in my darkest shadows. I mean, I couldn't see the pain. I was breathing out of my nose. I thought I was going to pass out. She goes, Joey, come on. You want a blowjob? And I looked at her, and there's guys, in the middle of all this. She goes, you want a blowjob? And I go, now Annie Lederman? And she goes, I was going to get one of these guys to suck your dick. And, people have no idea the gift of bringing levity to a situation.
That's what this show is all about.
I fucking hate, like, if somebody calls me and says, hey, call, God forbid, Tom Segura. His dad passed away. I give it a day. I call him like I usually do. Tom, I love you. I'm sorry about your dad. And then I'll just drop like, what are we getting in the will? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to your fucking creepy sister? Or are we getting, what do we? And people usually go, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me laugh.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Nobody has the balls to call and insult me. Like, I'll call people and go, you got a brother? What do you want to do? You want to light him on fire so he gets nothing?
Nothing.
Nobody else can test the will. And they'll die of laughter. They're like, don't push me, because I hate that motherfucker as it is. And for 5 minutes, I just made their day.
Yeah.
We would leave her mother's house, go to the warehouse on Sunday nights, buy 2 roofies around 7, pop them, and then go on the hunt for coke, and then go out, and we'd end up back at my apartment doing the nastiest things you could do to each other.
You could get an erection after a roofie and lines of coke?
Oh, yeah. Like, I did. Listen, let me put it this way. This is the type of guy I am. If we're straight up friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, and I get to know your cycle, I kind of leave you alone that week. I don't like period pussy. You know what I'm saying? I've never really, it's always petrified me. I know on coke, I've eaten period pussy. Just lick the clit and take the tampon and pull it back in and out. You ever do that? That's how crazy my life got. That I would just lick the clit, even though I don't like blood or nothing. I would lick the clit and then take the tampon and pull it in and out. And they go crazy, because women really like to make love when they're on their period.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I think it's not when
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But when I did coke, I was all in. I was licking ass. It smelled like fucking, because when they have their period, their pussy smells like gunpowder. Like, it smells weird. So you're eating that asshole, you're thinking of George Washington and cannons and fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're like, what the fuck? Why is George Washington keep popping into my head? You're thinking of Thomas Revere, whatever his name is. So when you do coke, even if it's somebody's wife, at 4 o'clock she gets sloppy.
Yeah.
Can I use your bathroom? They go to the bathroom, they come out, and all of a sudden their thong is out, and they're buttoning their pants. This is something you do in the bathroom.
Okay.
And next thing you know, she's like, did I ever show you my tits? And you're like, no, not really. And that's it. That's what happens after 5 a.m. when you're alone with a woman. Everybody, When I show up at these clubs on the weekends to do stand-up, I'm blown the fuck away. If you know anything about me, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I wish I could write more, faster, which is a pain in the ass.
You mean like books or material?
Material.
Oh, Joey. Can I tell you the problem with you is that you don't realize the funniest shit you say sometimes. The thing I've always said about you that blows me away is you say things that in passing, that you're just so naturally funny. You say things in passing that would be in my act tomorrow. My favorite one One of my favorite things you've ever said, I don't know if you've ever used it in a special, was you were talking about getting attacked by dogs when you first got to this country.
Yeah.
And you were like, dog, one time I walked past a dog, he saw me, turned around and was like, fuck it, and came back and bit me.
Came back and bit me on 148th Street when I was a kid. Because I used to say hello to that dog every fucking day.
Yeah.
And the owner was a fucking scumbag. But I was so persistent that he started liking me. And he would stop the dogs, and I would go, hey, guys.
Remember the story you told about snorting coke with Lawrence Taylor?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a big motherfucker. He's snorting coke off top of the refrigerator.
That was Daryl Dawkins.
Daryl Dawkins, yeah.
Fucking God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Snorting coke. You know, I've been going, it's funny, this morning I woke up. We ate 500 milligrams of Moon bars last night.
Who, you and Lee?
Me and Lee, and then 2,000 milligrams of Stars.
Holy shit.
We weren't high in the office. When the podcast ended, we were ripped. Yeah. And then I had to drive home, and I went home, and I was so high. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I had a whole container of salsa with diet tortilla chips. It was fucking disgusting. There was tortilla chips all over the floor.
Oh.
I had the raisins, the yogurt-covered raisins that belonged to my daughter. And I blacked out in the THC.
For real?
I woke up this morning at 8. My head was off the pillow. 3 pillows were on the floor.
Oh.
I was like, oh, my God, I'm not going to
do that club soda, would you?
I'm not going to be able to do shit today. And I really didn't have a big day. And I go, you know what? I'm a little sore from jiu-jitsu yesterday. But I'm going to go back today. Because when I got home, we gave him 25 milligram ABX. The sleepy ones.
No, he only had a 25.
No, he only had 25. But the 25 sleepy ABX is a little fucking deceiving. It's deceiver. The 25 is a little deceiving. It takes its time, and you're like, oh, I beat this. I'm fine. Joey don't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Then you settle. Like once when you get kicked in the legs in MMA, it's so you don't settle. Okay? Once you settle, you're like, wow, this took me to the promise. So he said when he got home, he was fine. He changed into his pajamas. And he goes, after he sat down, the room started spinning. It started turning purple in there. He started hearing people speaking Spanish. And he goes, thank God your wife gave me those meatballs. Because I ate 2 of them. And it took him down. And then he goes, I'll never smoke out of that fucking freeze pipe again. That's a
It's not
tremendous
the freeze
reference.
pipe's fault. It's the 30%.
Well, people always want to blame the least fucking evident. You know, a guy jumps out of a window with a fucking towel on, and they go through his house. He smoked pot. Well, let's blame the reefer. Let's blame the guy. He was fucking retarded before he jumped out the window. The fucking reefer just helped him a little bit to get the fucking air behind him to fucking. That's it. But don't blame the reefer, cocksucker. That was cause of it. I was seeing what it was doing to my house. Terry's a great lady.
Yeah.
Any other wench would deserve it. Not Terry. And it was a couple things. It was John Gotti had taken over the Gambinos at 45 years old. When I saw that on TV one day, I'm like, what? He took over a crime family at 45. I'm 44. I got a year to go, and I can take over a crime family. That's how I had to look at it, you know?
Joey,
like
that's such a great fucking...
That's how... It was so many things. Listen, that's why rehab is such a waste of money, because so many things went into me getting sober. That... You know, then I got a call one day from Bonehead. When I was a kid, Bonehead was my friend's older brother. Yeah. And one day he's like, hey, man, what are you doing right now? I gave him a bump. Yeah. We did like a bump, and he's like, where'd you get this shit at? I got it in the city. He goes, come on. Oh, I got it from around the corner. He goes, come on, let me take it. He had a van. He was a plumber. Bonehead used to take us to McSorley's Ale House in the village, sit us down when we were 16 and 17. We'd get 3 mugs of beer for $2 and a hot dog or a bowl of chili. And then he'd go, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, what do you get? He goes, Tumenols, barbiturates, heroin, whatever you want, I'd get. Yeah. I'd give him $10 and he'd give me 8 Valiums. And then he'd go get heroin. And he'd get tuned up, and then he'd come back to the table and sit with us. And then we'd walk in Washington Square Park and watch Chappelle. And Chappelle was 15. And watch Charlie Barnett do stand-up. I just took it up on YouTube last week on Rogan's. And Bonehead used to take me over there, and it was always an adventure. I hung out with 3 brothers, and one brother, and he had 2 other brothers. One I ended up being really good friends with, but Bonehead was my heart. Bonehead was really good looking. He was just hooked on heroin. He had a crazy girlfriend. And at night, they'd do heroin. They'd both pass out. And I'd sleep at their house. I'd pass out, too, doing blow. And I'd wake up in the morning, and she'd be naked. And I'd just stare at her pussy for like 20 minutes and shit. And, like, touch it. I was like a young kid. Like, she had her name was Donna Chinsoon. She was half Irish, half Chinese. And she had a beautiful pussy. And I would sit there in the hallway and just jerk myself off. I was about, like, 17 and shit. I'd just jerk off in the mornings and leave. She was so hot. I can't believe I'm telling this story, but who gives a fuck? But I hooked up with him after all those years. 2007, I got a call from Bonehead.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm living in Jersey. I'm not living in Vegas no more. We moved in with my mom. When are you coming back? I want to see you. So we got to talking, and I go, you still doing your thing? He goes, oh, fuck, yeah. He goes, I went down to Newark today. He goes, they got $7 bags. I go, they got $7 bags of heroin? So you know me. I go, send me a couple. He goes, give me an address. I hung up the phone, never thought about it again. 3 days later, this envelope with like crayon ink comes to my house with no return address, and I knew exactly what it was. I went upstairs, and he sent me 3 little packages of heroin. This was like June of 2007, so every Monday I would do a little bump. And finally, by September, I wasn't doing blow. I'm like, I got to call 60 Minutes. I'm on to something. Heroin cures cocaine addiction. This is true shit.
Oh, nice. Did someone find it? Where was it?
Very nice. What is that?
A lighter.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Under
Thank you,
your
babe.
bed.
Hold on, gosh, you ruined it. Keep going.
No.
Wait,
who
no.
cares?
So you go. I gotta call 60 Minutes.
I gotta call 60 Minutes and tell them I got the answer to cocaine addiction. Heroin. If you do heroin on Monday, you won't do coke. This is what's going on through my fucking head, man.
Joey CoCo Diaz just hitting it strong the whole time. You're a champion.
Fuck it. A fucking midget's gonna pop out all that smoke. I love it.
So I always tell him to just be extra
I'm
careful.
the same
with,
way, but I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the fucking truth.
We're gonna
I
talk
don't
about
like what's going on today.
Yeah.
I don't like that a woman came out 3 weeks ago and said Tom Sizemore molested her when she's 11, and that's the reason why she does drugs. Did you guys see that interview?
No.
That could happen to anybody,
Yeah,
any one of us. Just that word on a piece of paper, and we don't get any more work.
Yeah.
We're working in the Mall of America following Jeremy Piven because that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Before I accuse you of something, I'm going to be 100% fucking sure. And I'm going to have a witness or something. You cannot accuse me without a witness, a tape, a film. I want to see it. Before my daughter was born, I met a woman at Flappers one night, just very casually in the back. She was like she did something for Flappers. I'm no fucking man.
Come on, you look great.
What am I going to do with a girl? What am I going to hit on her? What am I going to do when I got to call for somebody? I'm an old man. I got 55-year-old nuts. They look like they're 55. For a young girl to suck them, I wouldn't get no satisfaction on it. I'm just fucking somebody's world up. I'm just fucking somebody's world up. It's like one time Rogan asked me, he goes, did you ever have a girlfriend that committed suicide? No, but if anybody sucked my dick, I'd kill myself. Like, if I sucked my dick, I'd kill myself. It's disgusting. You understand me? It's just disgusting. Like, we've gone through comedy hell. Like, it's disgusting. And, I fingered an Indian chick in Boise, Idaho one time on the dance floor. I was fingering her. She had a yeast infection. How can, I took my hand out, and it was covered in yogurt. How the fuck does that happen? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, how the fuck? Did you hear that fart? That was a good fart.
Who farted? You did?
Yeah. Kombucha.
We're going to take a moment for our
We have a
sponsor.
sponsor, yeah.
In Columbus?
I fly to anywhere. I fly in Thursday. I do all the radio Friday they have. I don't do podcasts on the road. Sorry, Charlie.
I do some.
No, I don't do any.
I do some.
That's where Leanne is correct. No podcast. We live in the fucking podcast, whatever.
Yeah.
I do a podcast Sunday, Tuesday, Monday, and Wednesday. I'm not going to get on a plane to do a podcast.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen.
There's one I will tell you that I think's worth it 100%.
Which one?
Orlando. Tom and Dan.
Yeah, I don't go to Orlando, so it don't matter. Don't matter. No, there's no podcast. We live in the capital of podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't need to do a podcast on the road.
You're right.
If you don't have legitimate radio, leave me in my room. If I could write a joke or rest or go to the gym, that's it. Listen, on the road now, I don't go nowhere. Yeah, but they got the best rib. That's great. If it's not across the street or walking distance from the hotel, Joey doesn't see it.
I said that this week.
Okay?
I was talking to
No, I don't do nothing.
I don't do shit, man.
I don't do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
I get in Thursday. I go to my hotel room. I take a shit. I take a shower. I roll a joint. I go downstairs. I eat some. I smoke that joint. I go back to my room and I wait till the show starts at what time? 8? Don't pick me up till 7:45, 10 to 8.
Yeah.
I don't want to see nobody.
I don't need to be out.
I go there 5 after 8. Everybody's seated. I go, I do it. I go back to the room Thursday night. Thursday night, I party a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll do an edible. If I got a Xanax, I'll eat a Xanax, smoke a joint. And then Friday, I'll get up early. And
What's it like to eat an edible and a Xanax? Do you ever do it together?
oh, fuck yeah, all the time.
What's it feel like?
tames the edible.
It tames the edible.
It tames the edible. It's like having a zookeeper. You know what I'm saying? Xanax tames the animal.
Oh.
So sometimes you eat an edible and you get too much anxiety, so fuck it. Let me get something prepared. You drop 2 Xanaxes and a 300 milligram, you're on your way.
So wait, you take the Xanax before the edible?
No, I take the edible first, let it start bothering me a little bit on the flight. And then I pop the Xanax. Then you drink a little Canadian, you drink a little fucking Diaz and ginger ale.
Oh.
It's all over. You understand? I got the perfect recipe.
That might be my new perfect recipe. Can I tell you what happened? So
I love Italian chicken cutlets, and I was staying with her off of Route 17 in Jersey, and I go to Rascals, and I go to get the chicken cutlet, and I'm a little crazy, like our boy here. I had chicken cutlets waiting for me, but I also had a gram of Coke at the house waiting for me, and I couldn't wait to get home, and I got fucking lost. And I see a donut place, like one of those Korean donut-owned places on Route 34, 35, and I pull in, I see 2 cops in there. And they just freeze. They just freeze like I was a criminal with a machine gun. And they're like, can we help you? And I'm like, I need to get to 1735 Garrett Road and I'm lost. You know, usually some guy goes, all right, go down and make a left. He thought I was big pussy. He goes, they put their coffee down and they go, follow us. They put a cop in front of me and a cop behind me. Drove me to Nolan Street, 13-something Nolan Street in Marlboro. And here's the best. The guy I was staying with was down there doing coke. And he was paranoid. They had their lights on.
Oh, my God.
He dumped the coke. He got all paranoid, dumped the coke. I come in, he's like, what's going on? I go, you're not going to believe it. He goes, what do you mean? Because he used to get fucked up, this guy. He would get so coked up, he would knock on his parents' door, and they would say, go away. Stop doing that white lightning.
Oh, my gosh.
He was nuts, this guy. I grew up with them, the Di Lorenzos. They were fucking nuts. But I used to, whenever I go, I had to deal with him. That whenever I go back to Jersey, I stayed with him. We knew each other since he was kids, but on Friday, he would go off the deep end. And one night, his mother woke me up at 4, and she's like, you got to help me with Chrissy. I go, what's the matter? She goes, he's outside naked with a light. He was so paranoid on the coke that he said there was a leprechaun outside. So I had to go outside with his father, with his poor 80-year-old Italian father, tackle him at 4 in the morning and bring him in the house. And I'll never forget, sit him down and put the robe on him. And he was all coked up and he's shaking. And
Another
Robbie,
scene for your life story movie right now.
Robbie, he looks over at me and he goes, I almost had him. So there's always assholes. Hold on, let me go get a wine glass.
Yeah.
Just give me the fucking glass. I gotta wait. Just pour the fucking wine in there. What's the difference? Well, the wine glass, the aromatic. Listen, shut the fuck up before I smack you. Just give me the fucking wine.
Yeah.
He would always come down with wine glasses. It would piss me the fuck off to no end. And the girls would be impressed. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Drink the wine. Just shut the fuck up. Drink the fucking wine, you know? Like, I'm one of those guys. I don't like no drama. And the people I grew up, I remember one time going out to dinner with my friends. I'll never forget this. I still talk to them. The Holloways. Roger had just graduated high school. The craziest family I grew up with.
Yeah.
Dad was a bookie. Mom worked in the city on a ship, like for a shipping company. And it's his 18th. We just graduated high school. And he took us to a fancy restaurant. And I'll never forget the guy comes over with the thing in front of him.
Yeah.
The Mr. Holloway says, "Can I get a bottle of wine?" The guy comes over with the thing in front of him, and he, takes the bottle, and he pours a little, and he tastes it first. I'll never forget in high school. My friend looked, he goes, "Just give me the fucking wine." The guy's face turned pale.
Really?
Just give me the wine. I don't want no show.
Yeah.
You don't have to taste it. You don't have to do nothing. Just take a fucking hike. Give me the wine. Like, we all froze at the table.
Oh.
Like, I grew up with people like that. Like, one time we were at a buffet, and some fat chick was eating ribs, and I kept looking at my friend Roger. And he was eating, but he kept looking at it. And he would look at it, and he would get mad, and he'd look at it. And finally, I saw him put the fork down, and he threw the napkin down. He went up to the chicken, and he goes, "Let me ask you a question." Because she kept eating all the spare ribs. There was this place that gave you half a spare rib.
Yeah.
And she was taking all of them, and she was dipping her fat little fingers in the spare ribs and putting them back.
Oh.
And my friend, like 2 weeks after the incident with the fucking wine guy, he went up to this chicken and he goes, "Let me ask you a question. Before you eat that wing, before you eat that rib, do me a favor. Go to the bathroom, look at your ass, and ask yourself, do I really need this rib?" I'll never forget, we turned purple.
Yeah.
The people I grew up with were very, we don't like chit-chatter.
Yeah.
There's no chit. Like, my wife, she would have got killed.
Really?
Like, my friends would have stabbed her.
That's so funny.
Terry's a sweetheart.
Yeah, but she's someone that...
She likes to do chit-chatter, and I'm deaf.
Yeah.
Don't be chit-chattering. If you got something to say it. Don't be chit-chattering.
Yeah.
I don't like that sitcom mentality, like little jokes. My friends would have killed her.
Yeah.
My friends would have stabbed her. They didn't like that either. You get in the car with them, shut the fuck up.
'Cause I can never see without you, babe. But now I'm blinded by your side. Yeah. Didn't ever wanna be without you, babe. But all we seem to do is fight. Do you remember when we first met? Now the kisses turn to curses. Maybe we can make it through this. It'll all work out. Maybe there's darkness to me. Maybe I should be lonely. Maybe my love's still loading.